So, Elden Ring Nightreign dropped not so recently. I am late to this because I've been playing it a lot, but I think most people know that it's not doing exactly stellar in the opinion poll of Soulsborne games.
Shut up!
This latest game is a new area for the From Software category. A somewhat roguelike game. Think Binding of Isaac mixed with Dark Souls 2 mixed with Fortnite. Speaking of Dark Souls 2, did you know that Miyazaki was not the lead director of the game? Although he always do be getting those grippers in somehow. Anyway, just like Dark Souls 2, this game seems to be taking the brunt of the hate for just being mid, kinda repetitive, and in my personal opinion, a little bit too easy. In this video I won't be going over anything too ridiculous, just more of an overview, the opinions of the community and my own personal opinions on the game. Nightreign works very differently compared to other FromSoft games. It's more about getting it done quickly than thinking about what you will do. Each run is split into 3 nights. The first 2 nights are to gear up, and the third one is for the big boss. You can run co-op or solo. No duos currently. And each run will take you like 40 minutes, depending on how well or badly you do. Why did they choose to do roguelike? Oh, but they probably got tired of doing somewhat of the same game over and over again. Now, they didn't have a Dark Souls try, there's no need to get the pitchbox. I love the games. But if I had to make it of Soulsborne, I would also try to change it up more in comparison to Dark Souls 1 to 3. Also, fun fact, you can now climb in the game, which replaces the ladder mechanic from every other Dark Souls or FromSoft game. I do sure hope that you enjoyed those mechanics, as in this game you'll be spending at least half your run rubbing your face against the rocks to just climb. Onto the more fun stuff. Let's go over each character, because I'm sure you haven't seen this a few hundred times. Also, I'll be tier listing them just for visual reasons. Also, it looks better. Also, this is my opinion. Please don't blow my shit clean off if you disagree with any of my placements. Firstly, with probably one of the best characters, Wylder, also known as John Nightreign, also known as that character that does the "How am I still alive" thing from the trailer. First off, he is a jack-of-all-trades type of character. He can use anything to a semi-decent level, and he has the 3rd best survivability, making him a pretty good starter class. I mean, he's on the goddamn cover art. I mean, he's even probably on my fucking thumbnail, to be fair. The fact he is amazing is not due to the fact he's a jack-of-all-trades, he's got great survivability, he's on the cover art, and he's John Nightreign. It's due to his ability and his ultimate. Both abilities are amazing by themselves, but when you combo them together, you can have unlimited fun throughout the game. Also, learning the jump tech and having the sword relic, you can turn yourself into a human missile. Now, I could go on and on about how fun he is to play, or even how fun he is to watch, but I think we all know where he will be ending up. S-tier. Now, onto my personal favourite. He is the biggest bird, Guardian. I'd say this character is more like Dark Souls 1. As in, you spend 90% of your time hiding behind your shield, hoping it doesn't break. However, this has nothing to do with the skin I chose for this character. Just saying. Anyway, Guardian is a tank support character. It is your job, yes you, to stay alive till the end, just so you can use your ult to res everyone back up. Unfortunately, this means you also do no damage. Now, this is to compensate for your near invincibility. And I feel like he gets some hate for being such a simple character, but I personally enjoy him as an ex-Ryan, ex-Lance, any shield character. I am a big fan of the big wall type of gameplay. With this, he holds it down in B tier. Now, onto the actual easiest character to play. The only viable bow build, I. Range is incredibly simple and easy to play. You just have to spend all your time outside of the boss's range, and if you have any issues, both of his abilities give you pure invincibility. Now I say invincibility frames, it's more like invincibility animations. You have like 5 seconds in his ultimate to have a look around. Just for this character, his passive is pretty good, making him meta. Since you can get more loot with a 30% increase in chance of higher rarity loot, and it stacks with everything else, like the Silver Scarab, and if you find any items with it on. This makes your I useful no matter the run, even if he's more of a game journalist type of level. My only issue with ranged characters, including I, is that you can end up getting a little bit bored, since all you're doing is shooting again and again and again and... Well, with all that, I lands into A tier. Welcome to my personal least favourite character, Duchess. Also known as Wylder's brother, or whatever the lore is. She is a dagger character. If we're playing Dark Souls, there would be a less than stellar name for this setup. Something rhyming with flex rank. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of deck myself. I prefer big weapons and a lot of health. In Dark Souls 1 I use the Zweihander. Dark Souls 2, power stands for 2 great clubs. In Dark Souls 3 I use the Darkdrift Knight greatsword. And Elden Ring, basically any of the colossal weapons. But for PvP, I did use the Zweihander personally. The dodge is pretty cool overall. However, it feels like if you spam the dodge button, you will most likely be alive through whatever is going on. The fact she is so squishy, being 4th lowest starting heat, makes her boring to me personally. I prefer the classic swing while they swing tactic, and she has the worst ult in the game. However, her normal ability is pretty good, just redoing the last damage you've done over the last 3 seconds. So, use it normally after inflicting either a bleed or frostbite proc, or if you repost them. Oh, side tangent, she has an A scaling in intelligence, so if you find a good staff, just use it. It'll do you quite well. With this, she sneaks into C tier. Say hello to the goat, your Unga Bunga character, a classic strength character. Every time I play this character, I see any mage type characters and I call them fucking nerds and I crush their skulls with whatever chunk of rock I have. Or, I just uppercut them into the shadow of the earth tree. Fucking nerd they are. Speaking of uppercuts, with his retaliate ability, you can just punch away your problems. Fun fact, when doing this, Raider is literally too angry to die. Like, it's in the wiki I have on my other screen. You cannot die. Your HP stays at a minimum of 1 until the animation completes. This guy has the 2nd highest health in the game. He will simply survive wherever you throw it in. His ult, though, is the downfall of him. Since it may in fact be the 2nd worst ult in the game, as it's just a rock. I mean, it's kind of cool, but like, it's useless. Apart from that issue, Raider is honestly the funnest character for someone like me. With that, Raider, slung into A tier. Say hello to the smallest character in the game, Revenant. Some sort of doll-like thing? She is the smallest character in the game. However, she has 3 summons, each better than the previous. Helen, the one who has a rapier, can move around well and stab people, like your classical Brummy resident. Not much health, but works well on the move. Frederick, the one with the big hammer, swings around his big hammer and knocks over everyone. Good for like mid-tier bosses in a general ad clearance. Sebastian, the goat, my beloved summon. Grabs aggro like a chatter in Hassan's chat, who slightly disagrees with him. Has the best ultimate move turning into Superman, eye beaming everyone. And I mean, look at him go. Speaking of the ultimate, it's basically a big res for everyone, and it gives your summons a lot of buffs, making them invincible. Only issue is she doesn't have a home for a weapon. If you can get good incantations, it's alright, but I recommend just going with whatever your heart desires. Even if it's a hammer double her size. Oh, and she doesn't have a way to regen FP. So if you have a Revenant in your team, hoard some shards for her, although I'm pretty sure you would hurt literally every with that, she rises into beating.
I ever tell you about the time Keith tried to deep fry a turkey? Third degree burns over 90% of his body. His doctor...
Oh, look! Welcome to my only Sekiro experience. As I call him, from Sekiro, Executor. You have two ways to play. Arcane status effect spam, like a coward, or you can pull out the curse sword and parry everything. The parrying can be addictive, as it feels like you are God, as you parry every boss or enemy throws at you. Maybe a little bit too addictive. I would go over all the stats effect things, honestly. It's not important. Just, if you're going to do it, find a bleed weapon, crossbow weapon, hit the enemy builds, watch the procs, congratulations, you're winning. With this, I'm sure you're asking what the ult is. The ult allows you to prey on your enemies. Put them down. Just like an animal. Like animals. A tier. Now, we're onto the bosses. But first I want to go over some of the world bosses you should be worried about. I'm speaking of the giants, and most terrifying of all, the ball-bearing hunter. Now, any of the other bosses may run your fate, but they are most likely to make you want to remove your skin from your body. The giants are prime LeBron. They will not miss, and when they hit you, you will not be ready. And last of all, the ball-bearing hunter. He's like Tagilla from Tarkov. He is a natural disaster. Do not approach him. And if you're not prepared, run out of his range, or you will become his victim. Anyway, the rest of the bosses are pretty chill. There are some that are more concerning, but if you are playing properly with 3 people, they should be somewhat easy. Also, cool little thing is there's 8 bosses for 8 characters. However, they do not all go bar for bar with quality, as you'll see. And with the Everdark coming out, slash they have already come out, oopsie. They're somewhat cool. None of them seem too difficult yet, but I'm sure Libra will ruin me again. First boss, I consider the tutorial boss, Tricephalos, or in English, 3 heads. Now, you may be wondering, what is the dog doing? Let me tell you. His name is Princess, and you are one tasty toddler. Well, that is until they nerfed it or something. Because now I feel like the ATF during the fight. The the boss was pretty fun. I enjoyed the difficulty at the start, although once I beat it, it seems to be a little bit too squishy now. Although that could just be due to knowledge of the game and all that. Also, fun fact, not so fun fact actually, he does have a grab attack, although the timing on that is so long, if you get hit by it, I think it should kick you out of the game. Overall, A tier. Pretty cool.
Peace.
Speaking of grab attacks, say hello to the game. Enjoy the one frame to figure out when it's coming. Although now, it feels slower than it did at the start. He's still a cool boss though, and definitely still difficult. If you go into this boss thinking you're the man, he will definitely be letting you out. This guy and Libra definitely gave me the biggest issues at the start of the game. And he also has big boss issues. If you don't know what that means, basically it's when the boss is too large to be able to tell what he's doing sometimes, meaning you get hit with some attacks that you can normally dodge. And with this, also your camera sometimes gets dragged around awfully, so you don't even know where you are. Even with that, he is still a pretty good, difficult boss. Definitely worth A tier. Now, onto a bad boss. Sentient Pest. I'll keep it quick. The boss is cringe, poison is cringe, and a flying boss is cringe. The only positive is that health is shared like Twin Princes, so you can just target the big guy. I've only lost to it like 2 times, so it's basically impossible to lose to if you're mildly prepared. This fella is going into C tier, where he belongs. Speaking of bad bosses, this guy is so bad and boring you will die from boredom before he gets you. Augur. I don't think I've ever died to him, but I've nearly lost to him due to being so bored I started to mess around and tried jumping off the jellyfishes. This boss is 70% waiting and 30% running after the boss to do damage. Again, I must preference this with flying is cringe. This guy goes into D tier. There's always one boss that sucks in a Soulsborne game. Now, onto a good boss. Libra, also known as Equilibrious Beast. He is a merchant you may have met throughout the lands. Cool boss. Took me the longest to beat. His main attack is Madness. Now, normally, I would say status is cringe. But he doesn't use it too much, and if you pick up the little yellow balls on the ground, you can reduce it, making it more fair. However, if you see him setting up and praying, get him out of it however you can. Either break the seals or just pull him. He also has a cool little floor explosion attack. He spams it a lot, you'll see it. Wait until there's like a little like flash, then roll. A lot of people roll straight away and then get fucking nuked for it. But it's my personal favourite because it took a while to figure out. A bit silly. However, with all the positives, I'm still putting him in B tier because he's a status boss and he can suck it. Now, this boss is kind of cool. Kind of like Ludex Gundyr if you play Darkdrift Knight. And his name is Darkdrift. I try my best not to say what to do, but I'd highly recommend bringing lightning. Otherwise, you will be getting railed by this boss. He's got his second phase is pretty cool. He like turns into a sludge monster, as I said, like Ludex Gundyr. Apart from that, he's pretty average boss. I wouldn't say amazing, I wouldn't say terrible, he's just good. Chill. But apart from this, his Everdark is pretty cool. Although I think it's slightly easier than the actual boss, as he stops doing his cool little like lightning anti-attack thing that he has to do. With all this though, he can hold it down in A tier. I think he's pretty good. This boss is great. I mean, it's a dragon, but still, I think it's a great dragon boss. his title, Fissure at the top. This boss is great. Again, another status effect boss. But for this one, I don't think he takes the entire thing up. He really took to heart the fog part of his title, as you'll see with the fight. He is a great boss, apart from the fact that he's always running away or flying away. But that is an issue with most dragon bosses. Even with the frostbite not taking up the entire thing, you will still be cooked. Or frozen, I guess, if you don't deal with it properly. I'd say this boss is an A tier still. Don't question it. I mean, look at the skybox. It's fucking amazing. Now, onto the boss. The Knight aspect. This is your classic Dark Souls final boss. I think Gale, Soul Cinder, human-sized boss. You know, your camera's going to be fine on this one. I'd recommend watching out, because this boss will flip. He'll put it on you like no other. Also, I will recommend not attacking if he does target you. We're not gods of this game. Leave that to the guy beating it on Donkey Kong bongos or some shit. Also, the boss has 3 phases, kinda. The third phase, he does like he'll go in the air and he'll just like slice through the sky. I'll probably have some play what I'm saying. But the third phase is pretty fucking sick. I mean, watch. I would go over like all the cool lore and ooh, look at this, look at my preferences, but I don't care for it for now. Until I'm like, I'll watch that you do it. But with all this information, I'll be giving him the grace of an ST. Now, this is probably the more controversial part. Personally, I have issues with meta stuff. Just because I feel like a lot of people search up what is the best and expect every other player to do the exact same thing. For an example, the Everdark relic, the one that's yellow that says like, oh, doing the little jails, the Evergold jails, gives you like a 5% increase in damage, and like it's really good if you do like 5 to 6 prisons, but then you're expecting every other person to be on the same boat and to be running around the map to do all the Evergolds, because that extra damage is really good on the boss. Which for me takes a lot of the fun out of the game. Because preferably, back when I used to play, because I'm fucking ancient, I used to just pick something and go for it. Either that being Reinhardt in Overwatch, or like me choosing shotguns from any FPS game. Even when these items fell in and out of meta, I didn't really care because they were fun and I enjoyed them. I loved swinging the big hammer around and slamming the ground, and I loved blasting people's shit clean off with a shotgun in like Call of Duty. Another example, previously said, but I used to play Strength Faith in Darkdrift Knight. Although I don't know the stats, I'm pretty sure it was actually quite a meta pick. But later on I also turned to Pyromancer, because I thought it was pretty cool. And I got pretty good at using the Pyromancer playing Forwards. Don't know if either of those are meta still. I loved it and it worked quite well. And in PvP, I used to use the Poke Ring and abuse the heavy attack on the Greatswords to ruin my opponent's game. Or I use the Gundir's Halberd and use the fact that you could turn on it really fast to bait parries out and then use the heavy attack, which is unparryable, to flatten people. Anyway, back on the topic. I feel like a lot of people play the game for an hour or two nowadays and decide to Google the answers. And I mean, I'm just as bad. I Googled a lot of the puzzles in Baldur's Gate. That's because I'm your average strength user, Titan build, Grey Muncher, etc. But I've never Googled what is the best setup for this game on Google. How do I get better using X, Y, and Z? But that's because I choose my weapon and I downhill for it. I mean, I even use bows in Destiny. I mean, I played Destiny, which is bad enough, so you don't have to take my opinion.
Really? This? In my house? Yeah. Not in my house,
But it's like me saying, hey guys, here's this build, it's so good. Go Raider, find Libra, put all your stats into Faith, and just heal your teammates. Maybe cast a few of the little light rings and just fucking send it. Like, would you believe me? I wouldn't, because I'm a bit silly. Now, I'm just going to go over some of the positives and negatives of the game. Just a little plus and minus chart. Again, my personal opinion, etc, etc. Don't put me in the ground for anything I say. Now, positives. One, it's a Soulsborne game. I know this doesn't count for much, but like personally, I'm just a big fan of the goat Miyazaki, etc, etc. The Knight aspect, the dog, Jaw, and Knight are all good bosses. The rest of them, yeah. Another thing is your teammates. I think actually make it funnier. There's nothing better than watching a Wylder flying across your screen and dying, or, now this has happened, and again, I didn't clip it, oopsie. We had a teammate trying to res us by doing the false barrier shield parry about 4 or 5 times in a row on top of us. And some Dark Souls bosses have been included, which is pretty good. Nameless King, Dancer with Boreal Valley, Gaping Jaw, Smelt the Demon, probably some other, but those are the 4 that I see the most on. And another great thing, and personally it's a favourite of mine, is you can honestly do whatever you want in your run. And if you're good enough, you'll most likely win. For example, the first time I ever got a defeat with John Zakiro was when me and my friend were level 11, and we were just trying to parry the final boss over and over again, and we somehow killed him at level 11, just sat parrying him and riposting and going again and again. No dodging, just parrying. It's pretty cool. Another thing that's great is the random events are pretty good. I wish they'd happen more though. There's the Madness event, there's the Augur one, there's the Pest one, there's a few others I can't remember. There's one where the horses rain from the sky. That's really cool. And it really adds to each individual run, make it feel a little bit more random. However, I wish most runs would have them instead of it being like 1 in 3. Now, as I said, it feels repetitive. It's like 1 in 3 runs have something cool happen, but that's like with them being 30 to 45 minutes long. That's a lot of boringness for a little bit of fun. Another small issue, personal issue to be fair, I feel like a lot of the bosses have been tuned down. Now I know this game is more of a casual experience, but still I personally want to feel challenged. I wish there was a way of doing that. Hopefully the Everdarks can do that for me. But as well, that may be due to the fact that the relics I've gotten, because now they're all best in slot, or whatever they call it nowadays. Some bosses as well don't get enough love. I feel like Nameless King is pretty weak for a second night boss. Same thing with the Dancer. I feel like they give and challenge, but not enough, especially with some of the setups you can get by the second night. And arguably the most agreed upon thing I'll probably say on this video is that the game is a running simulator. I mean, look at us go. Over 50% of the run is just running. Now, onto my overall opinion of the game. I think it's pretty good, not amazing. For your casual gamer, it will be better than like COD or whatever. But for a Soulsborne, it's definitely lacking. Firstly, the game is in dire need of some new characters, bosses, weapons, and just stuff to do. And it needs some more randomness. With this, I feel like it could loosen up on the boss pools, just make it a lot harder. Imagine getting a Nameless King day 1. That would be cool. Personally, I'd give the game like a 7 out of 10. I will be playing it more, even with 100 plus hours, and I will be enjoying it. But you won't see me telling someone they should get it, if you understand what I mean. Now, with all that said, thank you for watching the video. We'll be all the way. I will be doing the obligatory subscribe and like, etc, etc. Also, tell me what I should do or talk about next, because I don't know. This is a new thing. I would also like to thank Miyazaki for another masterpiece. Well, actually, he didn't have much to do with this game. Some guy called Junya Ishizaki did it. But I mean, he's been there for 10 years, so you know, he's still got that Miyazaki thing on him.
Oh God.
Where's the rest?